Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. That's the whole Bentley range, and round here some guy's got one of those, the W12, and another guy's got one of those, because on separate days that was following me down Paget Lane, and a few weeks later that was following me down Paget Lane, and I've seen one of those in Stockton Heath when I was coming home after visiting Mum and Dad's grave. Anyway, enough about that. As you know, the falling birth rate is having dramatically effects all over the Western world and beyond, and as I reported last week, it's starting to have an impact on the powers that be and the mainstream media. This is sort of increasing the attention of the powers that be, as I found this. As you can see, it's CNBC, and this was done on March 22nd this year. As you can read, falling fertility rates pose major challenges for the global economy, reports finds. It's quite a iffy article, but these are the key points. Falling fertility rates spark a transformational demographic shift over the next 25 years, with major implications for the global economy, according to a new study. By 2050, I'll probably be very old or very dead by then. 3/4 of countries are forecast to fall below the population replacement rate. By 2100, I'll definitely be dead by then. Just 6 countries, they'll probably be in Africa, are expected to have population replacing birth rates. And then it goes more yada yada about it. And going to America, I found this about Fortune magazine. This was done on April 26 by Sydney Lake. I should say that's a woman. This was done by another woman, Karen Gilchrist. And as you can see, the economy is moving us back to the 19th century as fertility rates plunge. Now this is an article completely about America. It says the economy is hitting younger generations hard. Millennials and Gen Zers face sky-high mortgage rates, soaring home prices and inflation, and it's slowing some traditional or otherwise historic milestones like having a child. No mention that modern women are picky and they think that their sexual market value is higher than it actually is. It says, indeed, women are starting to have families later, having fewer children, with some foregoing starting a family altogether, unless Chad comes along, according to a report released Thursday by the National Centre for Health Statistics, within the Centres for Disease Control and Prevention. I covered that article last week, but the most staggering statistic in the report is that the American total fertility rate hit a record low last year, falling to 1.62 births per woman. That's well below replacement rate of the number of births needed to meet the number of older generations of 2.1 births, we all know. And then it says, people are opting out of America. They're not optimistic about it. They're not having kids. Indeed, the National Centre report shows that birth rates decline for women aged 15 to 39. Now that is the prime age for women, 15 to 39, when they leave college and they enter the workplace and they ride in the carousel, having a good time. They don't think about the future. As in the song, you let it, and for some, you let him hit it raw. Now you're a single mom. And it says, overall, there are about 3.59 million births in America in 2023, down 2% from 2022. So the storm is breaking in America. When it says, once more, birth rates are declining even faster rate for minority women. Remember, the African American men were the first men in America to start going MGTOW. That is the result. General fertility declined 5% for black women, as well as American Indian and Alaskan Native women, and 3% for Asian women, according to the report. That's largely driven by rising mobility and mortality rates of women of colour. It says Peggy Roberts, a board-certified women's health nurse practitioner licensed in New York. And it says there's tense of apprehension among women regarding the risks linked with pregnancy and childbirth. Consequently, women are opting to forego the prospect of having children. And then we come to another reason. The number of factors declining birth rate, personal, financial and career choices continue to be top of the mind of women in the years traditionally committed to having children. In other words, the women are choosing a career instead of having a family. Many women are delaying having children into their late 30s and 40s. Well, the fertility rate's gone down and the wall's approaching to get ahead in their career. And it goes, the biological clock and career clock are in total conflict with each other, she said. Plus, women reach their peak earning years in their 40s, and their prime employment age for women continues to rise. And then a woman's 30s and 40s are traditionally dedicated to career development instead of having a family. But that time frame also overlaps when they are expected to have children. And it says, we're screwed, we can't have it all. That was known by men for a long time. And it says, more women are vocalizing their choice to remain childless to pursue higher education, said Robert Plus. Women express concern about the lack of available partners for forming long-term relationships and starting families. Of course, they go out of college, they get a degree. They're not going to get a blue-collar guy. They want a guy on the same educational and earning capacity as them, if not better. We've all seen that on the MGTOW channels. And it says the birth rate has been affected by an increased awareness of contraception. Well, that started in the 60s. Blah, blah, blah. More women now have access to contraception and use it. This can be especially said for long-acting reversible contraceptives in recent years. Contraceptive pill came out in the 1960s. I think I was about 10 or 11 when it made in the news. Anyway, that's the effect. The economy is moving in America back to the 19th century as fertility rates plunge. Now, CNN has chonked on that, but they doing it on the world view. This was done on June 25th this year. The fertility crisis is here and will permanently alter the American economy. And lots of yada yada, but the bit that stood out, where is it? Bloody hell. Sorry about this, people. I know. Trump. Here we go. Trump, if he becomes President of America in November. If elected, he would support baby bonuses for a new baby boom in America. And the Center of Disease Control reported the US birth rate fell in 2023, fell to a record low, reversing a small uptick during the pandemic. The Congressional Budget Office is also predicting the deaths will outnumber births just over 15 years from now. And then lots of yada yada about it. I'll put these links below naturally, but I don't want to do too long a video. I've also found this, the Congressional Budget Office. That's, as the Americans, you know what that is. This is a really long article, but this was done on January the 24th. Now, the only thing which I want to point out is this graph. Population ages 25 to 64 relative to the population 65 and older. Now, Look at the 2004. That was when Whitehouse sort of kicked in properly, and it started becoming widespread through the mindset of the American male population. See how it dropped? That could be the MGTOW effect for the birth rate, as guys decide the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and they're set to lose too much if they did go down the marriage and family route. So remember, third wave feminism kicked off here, the MGTOW sort of started here, and we see a precipitous drop. Is it the real MGTOW effect? I don't know, but it always comes round to 2000, 2004 when you see a drop in any of these graphs. And when we have lots of fertility rates, 2004, see, MGTOW kicks in, dropping down from ages 39 to 40, a bit fertility, but the primer age there, 2004, and then it drops down. And then mortality rate, ages and sex, and net immigration, all that, this, that, and the other. Finally, right at the very top of the American political pyramid, you got the White House and the President. I found this. This was done on May 23rd this year. First principles look at historic low US fertility and its macroeconomic implications. So the falling birth rate has got the attention of the White House and the American Cabinet, Congress, or wherever it is that the President has as his advisors in the White House. The bit which stands out, where is it? This bit. The Biden administration has invested historic federal funding into the care economy since taking office. The American Rescue Plan delivered $39 billion in child care relief funds and $37 billion to expand and strengthen home and community-based care services. Could be for single mothers. The President's most recent budget includes proposals to reduce the cost of childcare so that most families would pay no more than $10 per day, saving the average family $600 per child per year, if you got children, that is, and would invest in free, voluntary, universal preschool for all 4-year-olds. But if the birth rate's going down, then there won't be many 4-year-olds going into a preschool. And this bit stands out. Such measures, a better address, could increase labour force participation, especially among women. Once more, the government wants more women in the labour force for the tax take coming in, and not raising families as what the women's traditional role was throughout history. And then it goes on about the wage gaps, and then we get productivity growth and rising dependency ratios, a new trend, the history of labour productivity growth versus challenging the dependency ratio can be instructive. And more graphs and more yada yada. But it seems the White House is getting worried, as is the American Congress and the American media, CNN, about the world having a baby shortage for traditional Western families and other people around the world. Even China is starting to get worried about it. But it all boils down to women being picky, and it's moving the economy in America back to the 19th century if the birth rate goes off a cliff. Most of the projected demographics, as you can see, about 2030, when 52% of American women will be single and childless, and as you can see, it goes downhill from then on. I think I'm on the 15-minute mark now, so I'll have to leave it at that. I'll naturally put all these links below, so you know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, etc. You know the routine. Completely up to you. But it looks like we're going to have a interesting few years, and the presidential election after November doesn't seem to be able to do much about it, as you can't force people to have children if they don't want to have children. So until next Monday, that's it for me. Bye bye.